It was hot the other day. Naturally, I'd been thinking about America lately and wondering how much unalienableness there really is to that third right this country has been hell-bent on pinning down and hanging up to dry for the past few centuries, the right to pursue happiness. What even is that? I guess that's the thing. There really isn't just one way of holding those words accountable to a singular meaning. So I did what millions of other people were probably doing at that exact moment, which is to say, I looked at things on my phone. Why am I looking at this growing collection of sound, images, text, some moving, others still? I pursue them, and many of them pursue me. What is this doing? If anything, it's making a single point of here and now more impossible. Not less possible, but more impossible. But what else could be the case when the here and now is connected to and taken hostage by things that are neither here nor now, but rather there and then? But these things do come to me here and are perceived in this time, now, so what the fuck? A new here and now? Anyways, back to the pursuing happiness. I figured a good place to start looking would be on the internet, where unfathomably large numbers of connections are constantly being made. This led me to the idea to Google search the word fun. I was given about 8,810,000,000 results in 7/10 of a second. What a world. This seemed like too many results to sort through, so the next logical thing to do was search for fun, the same word as before, now only surrounded by quotation marks, to see if the quotation marks implied or signified something different. It did. Fun, in quotation marks, fetched about 2,530,000,000 less results than the same word without quotation marks. It also took 2/10 of a second longer to find these results. This could possibly mean one thing, that encapsulating the word in quotation marks implied a more nuanced and particular connection to the world. After 10 minutes of looking over the results for possible digital avenues for fun, I went back to the initial fun search to see if anything had changed. I was astonished. Only 10 minutes later and 180 million more results for fun than before. So many things to do with fun. A picnic would be fun. Hours or services may differ. Available on YouTube, Spotify, YouTube Music, Apple Music, Pandora, Deezer, Play Music, iHeartRadio, TuneIn. Fun.com carries unique gifts and geeky products. Shop Star Wars toys, Funko Pop, vinyl, gadgets, action figures, collectibles, and so much more. A bit further down, Jumpin' Joey's has an average 4.2 out of 5 stars, according to 318 reviews, while Rascal's Fun Zone has an average 4.4 stars after being reviewed 1,442 times. Quote, I totally recommend this place to anyone who wants to have a fun-filled time for a reasonable price, end quote. It seems like our old right to pursue happiness is somehow getting mixed up with the apparent right to pursue profit. Additionally, Rolling Thunder Fun Factory has only 5-star rating on the list, but received this status by only one individual review. None of these results seemed promising enough, so after reaching the end of the list, a new beacon of hope presented itself. The text at the bottom of the page read, quote, in order to show you the most relevant results, we have omitted some entries very similar to the 270 already displayed. If you like, you can repeat the search with the omitted results included, end quote. It was startling to me that the computer would persuasively propose something to me under the pretense of if you like, and by way of some modest desire for the empty shell of a promise born out of a dutifully Pavlovian impulse, I repeated the search with the omitted results included. But alas, I had reached the end of the list without any real sense of fulfillment. At the end of the 40 pages of results was a YouTube video with the title Classic Fun. It had been uploaded only 14 hours ago, but had somehow already been viewed 27,809 times. I'm not sure, but if something doesn't check the box of weathering a significant amount of time, I think it can hardly be called a classic. I then began to speculatively wonder how long this video has theoretically and collectively been present in the world. With some rudimentary mathematics, I found that, given the video's duration was 57 minutes and 21 seconds, the collective viewing time experience ostensibly amounts to a little over 3 years and 12 days. If spread evenly, there would be just over 17 hours of new experience outside of the original context for each hour the video went on living in its first 14 hours of life. If it continued on this course, it would be 36 years old after its first week. After a year, it would be over 18,000 years old. But wait, this is not the whole picture. It's bigger. These numbers depend on humans, who presumably experience time at the same rate, being the only perceiving bodies of the video, and with only one pair of eyes per viewing. This doesn't take into account the probability that, at least some of the time, more than one pair of eyes were watching the same screen, and that the pairs of eyes perceiving the video were all human and not other beings like, say, for example, dogs, who apparently experience time at about 7 times slower than humans because of the whole dog years condition. So given the conservative estimate of only one of each 50 viewings to be done by or to also include a dog, the total viewing time experience amounts to somewhere between 3.397 and 3.457 years. But that's not real. Back to the initial search for fun. After exercising all the options and coming up with nothing really fun, I realized that there was a variable within my control that I could change to potentially find the fun I was searching for. At the bottom of the page was a text indicating that the results were in accordance with my current location in Bloomington, Indiana, and that I could ostensibly change this and search for fun from another location. I thought for a moment, what location would I most likely to be find fun based on past experiences of fun? The most fun place I could think of at that moment was a little town just outside of Todi, Italy, that lies midway between Rome and Florence, about 45 minutes east of Orvieto, and very far from Bloomington. Sadly, I was unable to search from this precise location, and had to settle for the search results according to the entire country of Italy. After reaching the end of the Italian search results for fun, I was notified that, quote, in response to a complaint that we received under the U.S. Digital Millennium Copyright Act, we have removed one results from the page. If you wish, you may read the DMCA complaint that caused the removal at lumendatabase.org, end quote. Again with that persuasive proposition of, if you wish. My curiosity and hope swelled again at the thought of this could be it, the fun that I had been searching for this whole time. The removal of the apparently fun thing was initiated by an anonymous entity identified opaquely as a gaming emulator, and it's claimed that the fun thing was being illegally shared on some other gaming site. It really did start to feel like a game at that point. I wondered then, to what extent can something or someone take ownership of fun, to make the sharing of it in some form to be illegal? Who's the owner of fun? Apparently, there are about 1.87 billion answers to that question, one of which being an 18-second video of the Groove Bar and Grill's owner having fun. A middle-aged lady with a drink in her hand was performing her own version of some sad and slightly off-balance line dance routine, while an open mic performer in the background strummed his guitar and sang in a low-quality southern drawl murmured lyrics, and was perhaps oblivious to the notion that the nickel within those taut, dirty strings pressing into his right hand's fingertips was likely mined in some faraway country, or that the mahogany of the guitar's neck had previously been pressed by different fingers in a different country during some mundane but dire act of minimum wage labor. Though, This time the press of fingertip to wood would arguably have had more touch, given that the nickel strings were not interrupting the feeling between flesh and wood. The only decipherable lyrics during the 18 seconds were, "in a pickup truck." What strange beauty. I guess it would be pretty much impossible to have any fun if you were aware of everything all the time, though. The search for the word sadness produced a mere 117 million results in about half a second. That is still quite a bit of sadness, though. The Google search for Google gave way to only 69 million results. In some way, this could signify that either one, Google isn't really that much of a thing to be found, or two, that Google does not practice very much self-reflection or awareness. I think both are likely true.